And today I'd like to introduce you to the the Link scanner. Sorry, I just got put off by the start recording pop up there. So I'd like to introduce you to the latest advanced UT scanner from Edify, and we'll run through my slide pack, showcase the scanner, the contents of the box, and we've got a demonstration and then a Q&A session. So we've got I've got Stuart Kenny, the general manager of the Silverwing business unit, as a panelist today. As I progress through the presentation, you guys will be muted, so please ask any questions in the Q&A box or the chat box, and Stuart will try to answer everything that he can. Like I said, we'll also have a Q&A session after we've completed the presentation. So if you've got any remaining questions, we can answer them then. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to the links. So hopefully you guys can see my screen there now. The link system is our latest advanced UT system, and it's a combination of two dedicated scanners, a corrosion mapping and weld inspection arrangement. It is the only scanner on the market that has two dedicated solutions in one. And some of our USPs there you can see listed on the right hand side. Versatile, robust, stable or stability. The encoder itself is IP67 rated. However, I've got IP66 rated there because through our test phase, we tested it to the IP66 rating chart, so that it's waterproof through different sprays from all angles. However, like I said, it's the encoder itself is IP67 rated and encased. It's a contactless encoder, which ties in with the stability of the the robustness of the system. A lot of our competitor scanners use a contact encoder, and we've seen throughout years in the field that they can have reliability issues. Integrated brakes on board. I'll run through all the features later. I'll switch off my slide pack and we'll be able to see full screen image of the scanner. We highlight here that it's extreme low profile in mapping mode, 110mm clearance, and we've got onboard controls. So you can see there that I've included three images. A key benefit of the system, like I said, is its versatility. It's reconfigurable into many different arrangements. On the first image on the left here, you can see set up in the maximum probe arrangement, which houses 6 phased array or TOFT probes, and then further down to the right, we've got our corrosion mapping setup, and to the bottom left, we've got it set up for TOFT or phased array to be on the outside of the handles. So it's when we looked at the in the design review of this system, it is a low cost but high spec corrosion mapping and weld inspection solution, really hitting and increasing your utilization or potential for utilization through its life. So let's just move on to the next slide. So some of its applications, all this information you can find on the edify.com website. We've got three options, three sellable options on the links, and the links full captures both the weld inspection and the corrosion mapping. So capable from 4-inch to flat, and as I've mentioned already, it's got the ability to house 6 phased array or TOFT probes. And then it's quickly interchangeable in under a minute into corrosion mapping, phased array corrosion mapping mode. So the weld inspection, as I've already mentioned, 4-inch to flat plate, typical sort of application, pressured circumferential welds, pipe to elbow or feature welds, Again, tapping into that reconfigurability, the fact that the system is modular. You can take the tractor assemblies. So we call the tractor assemblies the handle. So that can be reconfigured across the bar. The handles are passed through, so you can position the handle or the tractor assembly anywhere across that dual bar arrangement. So that enables us to be able to scan pipe to elbow welds, because you can seat the probes on the outside. Storage tank sealer welds, crack detection, sizing and monitoring, and typical corrosion erosion detection and sizing. And then as we move on to the corrosion mapping scanner, again the scanner frame itself is has got the 4-inch to flat plate available. That's his capability. Sorry. And we're targeting then pipework, vessel shelves, storage and storage tanks, spherical tanks or spheres, marine vessel hulls, and even tank floors and ship decks, or other critical assets, as you can see there. So as displayed in some of my images, you can see the mantis on the bottom right hand corner, and behind me over there, or it's a mirrored image, sorry. What we display here is obviously the probes, wedges, and the instrument. So this opens up the door for us to become a one-stop shop. So we're now able to supply the full package to you guys. Again, on the website, if you look at the Edify e-store, we've got a selection of probes and wedges there. But please do get in touch with your sales manager as we've got additional options available. So the system itself, I know I hope I'm not progressing too quickly here, but we'll spend some time, more time explaining the system's features. So on the system itself, we can see here that we've kept sort of in keeping to the R-Scan array. Went for like a sort of an ergonomic handle design, nice and easy to hold and operate, so that when you're on site, it's easy to pass around a pipe circumference for weld inspection or corrosion mapping. The dual bar arrangement, you can see on the screen, if I use my mouse cursor, this really does offer additional stability as you're progressing around the pipe. Some of our competitors choose to use a single bar arrangement. Not only does that move the tool post or the wedge mounting in front of the scanner, but it can also lack rigidity. So we went for a dual bar arrangement for this reason. But also, as you can see, the two tool posts sat in the center of the dual bars. There's no adjustment required as you progress from 4-inch through to flat plate. So the tool posts there are always normal to the test surface. There is a gimbal on the actual on the tool post, on the base of the tool post. So the probes or the wedges are self-normalizing. And you can see on the outer tool posts here, you can see some thumb screws at the back. So the system has been designed so that it's completely toolless setup. Something that was a key specification when we went through the design process. Given my field experience, I wanted to really make sure that it was easy to use. And the system is very, very easy to use. At the risk of sounding like a QVC shopping channel, but I will. I'll go through. I'll show you how simple the system is to set up and operate. So something that I haven't touched on yet is the onboard controls. So we've got integrated electronics onto the one of the tractor assemblies. So encased in this tractor housing, we've got one button and an onboard or integrated contactless encoder. So the reliability on the contactless, easy for me to say, encoder was the key driver in wanting to include on our scanner. But also we appreciate that sometimes there are faults in the field, and we don't want the scanner to have to return to a service center. So it's very easy to replace. There's 4 bolts on the assembly itself. Those 4 bolts come off, and you can just replace the encoder assembly in the field as a sort of a spare item. So the button control itself, there's 2 functions. So in weld inspection mode, you're able to pause and resume scans, and in corrosion mapping mode, you're able to index, increment, and reset the scan direction encoder. So this enables a complete one-man operation. You can set up the instrument alongside the test item, take the scanner to the weld or the area of pipe where you want the corrosion map, and you can collect the data, increment step for corrosion mapping, and then come back to the system to save and analyze. So the back onto the tool posts, where we look at the tool posts, these have been created so that they're universal. Universal up to they can mount up to 40 millimeter wide wedges. We can, we're aware that some wedges are slightly larger. However, 95% of the time we're using wedges that are within that width, and if that is a requirement, then of course we can accommodate. The magnets themselves, we got strong magnetic adhesion. I can show you later on the pull-off force of the scanner. It's approximately 25 kg, and we've installed O-rings in amongst the plastic casing, or I can't remember the exact material grade, to limit any damage to the coated surface. There's encoder strain reliefs on the handle assemblies themselves, and the encoder comes with a carabiner and a full strain relief. So if there's any snags, then it doesn't damage the encoder. And as I said, the handles and the tool posts are completely toolless, and they can be dismantled and put back together, or rearranged in any fashion as you wish. There's two brakes on the system, one on each handle. This located at the front of the crawler of the scanner. So just that when you're moving forward, we've tested this to when you have a fully loaded 6 tool post or wedges and probes. The system will hold itself in position so that you can change your setups in capture, etc. Adjust your gain settings to suit before progressing with a scan. So we've recorded a demonstration for you today. We picked what we thought was the perfect sample to be able to demonstrate the dual function scanner that we've designed. The sample is a pre-service slug catcher, and it's got the sort of typical defects that we would see day in day out in the sort of oil and gas industry. So we've got some weld erosion corrosion there, and we've got some lovely corrosion for the corrosion mapping. And really, again, when we were at design stage, I wanted to use the 15 years field experience that I had to really think about what I as a previous customer would want, and a couple of things came to mind was utilization, to be able to only have to buy one scanner and be able to utilize that over multiple applications. And what we've done is we wanted to create a roadmap, so almost to future-proof the system, so that it was reconfigurable. So that initially we've gone for the weld inspection and corrosion mapping, but also its design will allow us to add additional bolt-ons in the future. So with this, I'll play you now the demonstration. We will be online to answer any questions as we progress. The video is approximately 9-10 minutes long, so please do ask any questions as we go through. Guys, welcome to the Lynx workshop. So today we'll be demonstrating the Lynx weld inspection and corrosion mapping. So we're starting off with Toft, and then we'll move on to a single-sided phased array scan, and then we'll finish off with a phased array corrosion mapping scan. So as you know, or as some of you may know, Toft is the recommended practice for weld root erosion corrosion. This pre-service slug catcher sample is the perfect sample to display Toft initially, and then, like I said, we'll move on to one-sided phased array for what we would do in the field for characterization, etc. So without further ado, I'll move around to the scanner and pull a Toft scan. On the capture, we've preloaded some setups. There's plenty of demonstrations online with the coffee breaks and with the Edify Academy. Whereby you can look at the detailed setups for Toft and phased array. So we can just skip right through the inspection because we've already preloaded our setup. We press the play button and we're ready to record. We're ready to collect data. I just turn my water on. So we've got signals. So on the scanner we've got brakes on the front end, so we can disengage the brakes. Got nice handles, and we just move forward. You can see the data capture. And we'll get to the end of the scan. Nice. We can reapply the brakes and turn the water off. You can see that the scanner holds nicely on the system. The system is actually being tested to hold its own weight with a fully loaded 6-probe assembly, and when the brakes are engaged, they'll hold the system in place. It's a perfect scanning solution for rope access. So guys, now you've seen the Toft, we're going to show you that the system is reconfigurable, and we're going to reconfigure this setup now into a single-sided phased array. So the reason why we would carry out a single-sided phased array scan is sometimes we wouldn't have access to both sides of the weld. So we would perform a single-sided phased array in lieu of Toft, or alternatively sometimes we'd run a phased array scan or a phased array group, so that we were able to characterize any defects. Sometimes aid sizing. Toft has got its sizing limitations in terms of sometimes in the upper range of 6 millimeters. And to get that the lateral position across the weld. So I loosen off the side plates and the thumb screw on the top of the clamping mechanism. What I'll do here is just remove the Toft completely. We've got these cable clips in place at the moment, so we'll just drop those down to the side, the phased array probe onto the central rails. So we're set up for a single-sided scan. Just lock that in place. The tractor motor just slides back onto the dual rail arrangement. So today we're using 500mm rails. The weld inspection system comes with a 412 and 500mm as standard. And the corrosion mapping option comes with the 412 as standard, and then plus a 667 bar. But I'll talk a little bit more about that in the introduction and later on. So now we're set up, ready for our one-sided phased array. On the capture now, again, I've got a preloaded phased array file. So I'll move back to the home menu. Just go to Workshop PA, and then we can skip straight to inspection. So one thing I haven't talked about so far is the buttons. So we got buttons on board for in the weld inspection mode for pause resume. I can demonstrate this working now. It's perfect for when you try and maybe a single man operation. So what we can do is we could be set up for the scan. We play and pause on the instrument. Sorry, we just need to reset the encoders. So play and pause, and then we can arrive at the scanner. So now we're ready to scan. We disengage the brakes again. We've got the button on board, so we get ready for data acquisition. Then we move the probe forward. See the data acquisition on the screen. Nice defect tying in with the TOFT results. And we'll push it to the end of the scan. Re-engage the brakes. We can even pause again on the instrument, and then we can have a look at our data. Okay guys, so I'm going to swap over the weld inspection to corrosion mapping mode. We're going to loosen off the side plate again. This time we're going to loosen it off on the non-electronic tracker assembly. Just release the probe clamps. And as I mentioned before, it's a completely toolless design for setups. So you don't need any screwdrivers or Allen keys to change in the field. We just slide the water box mount on, and then we'll get the electronic or the non-electronic tractor motor again and just slide this on. Sorry, trying to hit this at a slightly awkward angle. So once the end plate is back on again, then all we have to do is put the water box into the water box mount. So if you've already owned an R-Scan array, it's the same water box and probe. So you can just you can swap between the two. So it's the perfect companion to the R-Scan array, with the Lynx CM being a 2-axis scanner instead. So we'll just widen this this bridge out here, and we'll just slide the Aqualocker mount across to the other side. So now we're going to perform a phased array corrosion mapping scan. So that's locked in place nice. Just pop the water in. Okay. So we've got the water on and we're ready to scan. So the main difference between the Lynx WI and the Lynx CM is the button operation. So when in this mode, the button actually acts as a stitching function, and will index step, as we'll see in the C scan. So we progress forward. We can apply the brakes if we wish. Move the mount into position. Press the button. You can see that the increment steps on the capture software. We move back, and we'll just repeat this step until we've filled in the entirety of our scan. So you don't have to use the brake if you don't want to. As long as you're just pressing that button, we'll end up with a nice stitched C-scan data. So as you can see, just locks nice into place. So one of the advantages of the phased array corrosion mapping is its probability of detection and its heightened sensitivity. So at the end of this scan there, we're going to apply the brakes. Again, just a 180 degree rotation. Stop the scan, and it's ready to analyze. So there you go, guys. That's our demonstration of the weld inspection and corrosion mapping data collection or data acquisition. I'm sure you'll agree that it's a perfect scanning arrangement for TOFT, phased array, and corrosion mapping. And this slide that I've got up here now it just shows that some of the additional sort of functions that the Lynx scanner has capability. So On the top right, I've just set up. I've set up on that X-Surface sample how you could perform a single-sided phased array scan if you wanted. Of course, we could supply shorter bars if there was any restrictions. If only so much lagging was removed, and you had a type restriction there, then those bars can be supplied at a slightly smaller length. You can see in the bottom left that we've actually used shorter arms for a flange face inspection. So in this configuration, we've captured 100% data around the tapered neck, and again, yes, it gives you a lovely recorded B scan of the flange. In the top right, we've got a probe mounted there for cups, so corrosion and the pipe supports. So again, with a universal tool post, we can we can mount. We've got that flexibility to mount a variety of different probes, and then be able to fully encode that data set. And in the bottom right, we can see that that was from our site trial. If any of you have seen the video on the website or on LinkedIn, we went to a site close to Swansea, approximately 5-10 miles away, to do some site trials, and that's the corrosion mapping or the Lynx CM there being deployed by a rope access outfit. So again, just they hooked it on to their utility belt and progressed up the column with the scanner attached. All the specifications and dimensions are available on the spec sheet, which are on the Edify website. I think the scanner frame is I think it's 2.3 kgs. But if you just head over there, or you can drop me an email and I can share that document with you. A couple of the features here again: 4 inches to flat plate, low profile for tightly spaced pipe racks. It really is key when corrosion mapping. Want to be able to get in between those pipe racks, especially for the smaller diameter pipe work. And you think just 110 millimeters is the clearance that is required, or the radial clearance that's required. So scalable solutions for a variety of applications. I've got a slide later on explaining that we're able to put together solution packages now. As I previously mentioned, being a one-stop shop, we can actually sort of tailor the order to your specific requirement. We've got a wealth of experience and knowledge within the technologies group, and we've put together a list of capsules or solution packages to fit specific components and thicknesses. So easily to switch from corrosion mapping to weld inspection. I'll demonstrate that in a couple of minutes. Seamless integration with the M2M Gecko and Mantis through the onboard controls. And it looks like I've duplicated those features there, so apologies for that. Again, we've got an image here of the scanner set up for a flange face inspection, and it's what we like to call the Lynx scanner is the Swiss Army knife of UT scanners. So in the box, you can see behind me here, we've got the Pelly case, which comes with the Lynx full arrangement, which is the 2 dedicated phase array corrosion mapping and weld inspection scanners. You get a Pelly case with a scanner frame, which comes mounted with 412 millimeter rails on the 2 tractor units, 4 universal tool posts. The 500 millimeter rails that you can see in the lid, therefore increasing the index offset, or the face-to-face separation between phased array probes. And then you get an accessories case, which includes pivot buttons or wedge mounting kits. So as you guys may know, that the wedges come with like sort of mounting holes and we supply 8mm and 5mm pins, plus a female pass-through for any preloaded wedges with pins to be able to mount onto the tool posts. The removable central handle, which you can see here in the center, just for comfort more than anything. Some people prefer to pull it through the center instead of on the outside. But also, if you move the tractor motors, the tractor assemblies to one side, you could have the handle still out on the end to give you that to regain that stability. So you've got the C-shaped and D-shaped cable guides just to make the cables nice and tidy. The C type for the phased array probes, because obviously the connectors and the probe itself don't release from the cable, so you can't pass through. So they can clip onto the unit to avoid any snags. The D-shaped connector is mainly for hoses. This all comes with a cable management sleeve, so you're able to route everything nice. One thing that is often prevalent with scanners, it can get messy when you've got 6 probes set up. So we wanted to try and offer through maybe like a 5 minutes additional setup. You can run everything nice and through the cable management sleeve, so you don't you don't get any snags, and it's easier to perform a scan. There's multi-purpose straps in the case to allow any preamp mounting. A lot of the instruments now don't really require a preamp, but if you do want to use a preamp and you want to use it at the scanner end, then you can mount it onto the scanner frame with these multi-purpose straps. And then you guys have got an option of a 5-meter or 15-meter umbilical lead. So we've also got a portable sight bag for the corrosion mapping kit. We really felt that having to carry and lug a large transit case sometimes isn't it's not the easiest way to get around site. And for the corrosion mapping kit, because they come with the larger bars, we didn't want to offer a large Pelly case. They're quite cumbersome and difficult to carry around. So we've found a nice portable and lightweight bag, and inside that we've got the water box, the extended water box wedge, as you move up the thickness ranges to move out your repeat interface echo. The water box mount itself, which again I'll show to you. The foam seals, which will go onto your water box, and 2 sets of extension bars, so metric and imperial, depending which you want to work in. So the both sets of rails, the metric allows you up to approximately 510 millimeters coverage, depending on the aperture that you choose, and the imperial will get you up to a 20-inch scan. So I'll just stop sharing my screen for a second, just so that we can focus on the camera. And I'll just show you on the, hopefully now you can see the video full screen. You can see the nice Pelly case and the 500mm rails in the lid with the tool case. So we've got keeper plates in the transit box, so that you're able to ship use the Pelly case to ship the item. And then underneath we've got like a multi-purpose void, where we'll hold the umbilical, the cable management sleeve in, any probes or wedges, etc. And when you get to having it on site, you can remove the tray, and you can leave the scanner fully loaded into the volume of the box. Also in front here we've got the latest V2 Mantis. If you haven't seen that, jump onto the website. I think there's some nice brochures and information, and some nice videos on the latest Mantis. And then we've got the Link scanner just here. So at the moment, this is set up in a 4-probe arrangement. This is how it comes as standard, and it comes with the 2 inner and 2 outer rails. And I'll show you just now how to switch this over to corrosion mapping mode. So we would just remove the side plate and the tractor assembly. Each of the tool posts just slide off. Again, as I said, it's fully toolless. and they're all fitted up on cam locks. The bars slide out, and then we have our corrosion mapping bars, which just slide in, he says. There we go. Have a corrosion mapping mount or Aqualock mount, which just links into place, and then the end bar just goes on, and it's as easy as that. So we just put the end cap back on, and then you can drop in the water box or the Aqualock, and you're ready to scan. So as I mentioned in the video, I think that you can see that the water box itself is it's adaptable to the R-Scan array and the Lynx corrosion mapping itself. And if we loosen off the tractor assemblies, we can put them all out to we can move these out to the extremity of the bars, and then we're able to capture a full 500mm scanning width. So you can see on the side, I don't know how clear you can see this, but we've got through a 180-degree nice and easy rotation. That's the brakes disengaged. You flick it down, and then it locks into place. So they're on both sides, both situated at the front of the scanner, and yeah, just nice and easy to use. If I'll just move this back into here, so you can, as I mentioned, you can reconfigure the scanner. If you're scanning a plate in the office, you can just slide up the scanner if you so wish. And then on the, I'll just show you on the pipe sample here. If I disengage the brakes, just moving around the pipe, it's a lovely smooth action. I've got like a sort of a laser mounted here, which you may want to use in a sort of weld inspection mode, and you can see that the pull-off force is it's got some good magnetic adhesion there, but also moves around the pipe quite nice and cleanly. I'll just nip back to my presentation. Just make sure that's still shared. Okay, so the 1 minute changeover. I created some time-lapse GIF images of this just to show again how easy it is to switch from corrosion mapping to weld inspection and vice versa. And then on the website, I've touched on that we putting together some solution packages on the website. We've got these nice brochures being put together for fabrication, weld inspection, corrosion mapping, and NII or non-intrusive inspection. Just an overview of those fields and also the equipment that we'd recommend and supply for each of those focus solutions. If you head to the Edify website, you can just go to Silverwing and links, and you'll see on the bottom right hand side you can download all those PDFs, or alternatively on the top right hand corner there's a search, and you can just type in links up there. There's a magnifying glass to do that. So a couple of the solution packages, like a Lynx Full is the perfect non-intrusive inspection scanner for this. Being able to hit your phased array corrosion mapping of a vessel and associated pipework, flange face inspection, the weld inspection on the system, but also maybe corrosion under pipe supports, or you could set up with a medium range guided wave probe to try and interrogate the saddle supports. So what we'd recommend is a Lynx Full, the water pump. We've put together a combination of Toft and phased array probes, which would be suited to different thicknesses. And really, whilst we appreciate that that some of the inspection groups do have the subject matter experts or technical management in place, we also appreciate that some guys may want some help on what we would recommend or what we would have previously used in the field for such inspections. So please, if you want any help or any advice on that, reach out to your sales managers. Get in touch with myself directly or Stuart, and we can have a conversation. Either us or even our colleagues in the M2M business unit. We're sure to help you out with whatever your requirements are. Where we look at the corrosion mapping, something I haven't touched on, apologies, is that the holes are sort of pre-drilled in 50mm or 2-inch increments. The thinking behind this is that we, with a 4-element aperture on the phased array probe, we get a 61mm effective beam width, and keeping that sort of that little bit of overlap, we can step in a nice round 50mm steps. To collect a 500mm grid scan. If you do have any specific requirements, we have in the sort of market research stage. There are of course requirements in some instances to have a specific amount of overlap. I mean, when you're carrying out a 2-axis scan, we should be collecting, we will collect 100% of the predetermined area. But if your procedure stipulates that you need a specific amount of overlap, then please do have the discussion with us, and we can look at providing you with an increment step that suits your needs. IP66 waterproof system, as I've already mentioned, and the onboard increment step for just for like a one-man operation. And then just the Lynx WI solution, fabrication weld inspection. As I've said, it's not limited to those 3 focus solutions. It's just 3 sort of brochures that we made for launch and for you guys to look over. Well, for the weld inspection, main key benefits: 4-inch to flat plate, pipe to pipe, pipe to feature, capable of scanning flange joints or flange face inspection, onboard pause resume functions for that one-man operation. Just got to think of rope access, and when you're offshore, it's a noisy environment. Sometimes you can be in a double Huron protection area. It's difficult to communicate with the guy in the instrument. So we've given the ability to start the scan when you're comfortable and ready. You could just get a thumbs up that the signal's good on the downside, and press the button to start that data collection. And cable hose and management all also taken care of. So we hope that through our design that we've captured at least the majority, if not not every eventuality, but we the versatility and reconfigurability of the sort of multi-solution scanner that we've delivered to the market. We're excited about it. We hope you are, and we welcome any questions to the floor.
So a lot of questions have been coming through on the chat, which is great. Thanks for your interest. Again, as Gareth said, thanks for dialing in. We're really excited about this product. It's great to have Gareth on board of the Edify team, coming from 15 years of advanced NDT experience. He really has put his heart and soul into the design of the Lynx system, thinking of all the problems that he's experienced firsthand on site, and putting all that into the design has been a huge benefit for us at Edify. And as I mentioned, we're really excited, and thanks for dialing into the workshop. I'm just going to read out a couple of questions that have come through on the chat that hopefully Gareth can answer. If not, I'll try and help out as well. A couple of people are asking about the scan width for corrosion mapping maximum that we can do.
Okay, so the maximum scan width is 500 millimeters, or 510 millimeters is the maximum scan width with a 4-element aperture, and it's and when we convert over to metric, I'm sorry, I mainly work in when we move on to imperial, it is capable of capturing a 20-inch scan.
Someone's asking about the maximum wall thickness. I'm assuming they're talking about the corrosion mapping probes. We've got two different water boxes. The standard water box is good for 60 millimeters wall thickness. But if you are going above 60 millimeters, there is the interference of repeat echoes. So we do offer a slightly larger water box, and that's good up to 120 millimeters. Yeah. But much like Gareth said with the tool posts, we can configure things. We can design and manufacture things in house. We think 120 millimeters covers most eventualities, but if you have got something that's particularly thick and you want a different design water box, then we can do that on a custom basis. Anything to add to that, Gareth?
Yeah. No, just that this the issue is the interface echo, where that's the interface between the water and the external surface, and that will repeat itself. So sometimes that can sit over your back wall. We got a question here: can the phased array probe be used for corrosion scanning and be interchanged with the R-scan array? It can. It can also be interchanged with the RMS PA. So for those of you who know the RMS PA, we supply the R-scan array buggy to sit on the front end, which provides a fully automated phased array corrosion mapping solution. And if you already own one of those, the water box comes straight off and plugs straight in to the Aqualock mount. So again, yeah, if you are already an R-scan array customer, you don't need to buy an additional probe for that.
Yeah, a benefit of this is, if Gareth mentioned quite a lot about NII inspection. So if you're thinking about pressure vessel corrosion mapping, use the links to get the coverage on the straight shells. But if you've got restrictions around nozzles, around saddle supports, around ladders, or even on the dome end, you can pull the probe and water box out of the links, plug it into the R-scan array, and you've got much more dexterity because it's a single buggy.
Okay, we've got a couple here on lead times. So what's the average lead time including the corrosion mapping solution, including the probe?
We're looking at 4 weeks for on receipt of a purchase order. It's a 4-week delivery at the moment. As you can imagine, we only launched at the end of last month, so production runs will take some time to get going, and we hope to reduce that lead time. But at the moment, we're on 4 weeks.
And could you kindly emphasise on the integration of the link scanner with the RMS? Is it possible with all models? So we are looking at integrating the link scanner onto the RMS. It'll be more suited to the gimbaled RMS 600, but we're in sort of test phase at the moment. So if you'd like to contact us directly, I mean, we can discuss that. But we're testing on all scan heads at the moment. And yeah, we'll feedback as soon as we've got something on the shelf.
Okay, we've got another one. Customers saying that we sometimes use oversized probes or non-typical probes for some applications. What do we do if the tool posts don't fit our application?
Okay, so if the tool post doesn't fit the application, then we've already looked at a wider tool post arrangement. It may limit the amount of tool posts that can be sat together in a single pass. But we're comfortable that we can extend the bar on the block so that we're able to seat a wider wedge. This is going to be for the start. This is going to be treated on a custom basis, but for sure we will be able to accommodate. Any plan for a chain scanner soon? Yes. it is on the roadmap, and I have got a prototype on my desk. So so that's coming soon. We're hoping to get through the test phases as quickly as possible. But I'm sure you can imagine we want to ensure that the delivery of the system is one that goes out the door and stays out the door. So yeah, it's in test phase, but please keep an eye out on the website or your emails, and we'll let you guys know when it's available.
Much the same fashion. Some people are asking about long seam weld inspection.
Longitudinal seam weld. Yeah, that's we're hoping that's before the chain scan arrangement. We are doing them. We are progressing with the developments at the same time. We're expecting to have that available in the next 6 weeks. So yeah, it's not far behind. Even if you placed an order today, then it's only going to be a small addition to the lead time to receive a longitudinal weld bar.
Yeah, just to emphasize, that's not a complete new system. As Gareth mentioned earlier, the design has been thought of being future-proof. So all you're going to need to do long seam weld is change out the bars in the middle, and there's going to be a set of bars that have been specifically designed to travel axially along a pipe. So if you bought into the solution now, it's a small addition to cover the long seam welds as well.
Another one, do you cover all connections for encoder and acquisition units? We've sat down and thought about our competitor sort of acquisition units, and because there's a number of different sort of models that have been released, the early stages coming with some D-Link connectors, etc. Some were LEMOs. We're treating it very much on a custom basis. Our encoder cable is a LEMO connector. And yeah, we'll make it an adapter cable to fit your data acquisition unit. So that's again, that's not a problem for us.
How long to scan a typical 500 by 500 mil grid for? I'm assuming the phase ray corrosion mapping on the links.
On the Link CM, we're looking at just shortly over a minute. Actually performed one this morning. Yeah, it was around a minute 15, minute 20 seconds, and that's remembering that's at 1 mil by 1 mil resolution.
And on the 500 by 500 mil grid, you didn't have to touch the unit once.
Didn't have to touch the unit once.
So all integrated on the buttons.
Yeah.
Someone's asking about method. Does this method cover all materials?
Well, we obviously the scanner is a magnetic scanner, so it's suited for ferromagnetic materials at the moment. But the introduction of the chain scanner is for non-ferrous, to hit those non-ferrous applications. The O-rings that are on the wheels, we'd hope that they wouldn't, they'll provide some cushion so they won't damage the surface. I don't think there's any reason why this can't be deployed on a non-ferrous part. However, you'd have to hold it in place. So, anything to add?
No, just the chain scanner. That's one of the obvious applications when we add the chain scanner to this is for austenitic materials, for weld inspection, having the chain scanner to keep it in place on non-ferrous materials, but also for corrosion mapping. Although it's not a typical application for stainless steel, because it shouldn't really corrode as much as carbon steel. The chain scanner plus the dual bar arrangement will give you the mechanical seal that you need, that's currently created by the magnetic wheels on the tractor units. So the introduction of the chain scanner later this year will be able to cover non-ferrous materials.
And as Stuart mentioned about the longitudinal seam, the chain scanner isn't going to be a separate scanner. We thought about it in the early stages of the design process, so it's going to be a bolt-on feature, so that your Link scanner is able to be attached to the chain arrangement for data acquisition.
Someone's asking about TFM FMC capabilities.
Yeah, so we would mount into a standard tool post, and we put in a solution package together for TFM. Is that for?
Yeah, I think it's just an acknowledgement, really, that obviously the M2M instruments, the phased array Toft instruments from M2M, have got a range, and some of them do offer TFM, FMC capabilities. As Gareth mentioned earlier, there's lots of information on the website about our capture software and the functionality of the capture software, specifically talking about TFM. So yeah, that's probably the best frame of reference, but for sure, if you buy the right M2M instrument with TFM capabilities plugged into the Link system, we can offer TFM corrosion mapping and weld inspection. The ability to test spiral welds. I'll let you answer that one, Gareth.
Well, it doesn't. No, not at the moment. But it's something that we're considering for future products. But we did have a customer inquiry about it, and what we recommended was use of the PipeScan HD system for screening defects, and then use of the RScan array or the Link CM to provide quantitative data collection around those areas, and also use of a manual phased array probe butted up against the toe of the weld.
And this is the last one from me that I haven't answered privately. Is the Links suitable for testing flange face corrosion or for flange face corrosion?
Yeah, and as you've seen in my slide, you can see that the system can be reconfigured to house a probe at the front end. You can put a small footprint probe on the and seat it on the tapered neck, and you can progress around the bore of the pipe and collect a fully encoded B scan for flange face corrosion.
That's all I've got on here.
Okay, well, thanks very much for joining. If you do have any other questions, if we've missed one at all, you can send them through to myself, gmugford@edify.com, or you can submit your questions via the website, and they'll get passed through to me. But other than that, I wish you all a good day, and thanks very much.
Thanks.